OpenAI just sent a memo to investors trash talking Anthropic because sometimes when you're falling behind, the only thing you can do is clip your competitor's wheel and hope that they spin out. Here's the thing, Anthropic is not spinning out. They just tripled their revenue. OpenAI, however, isn't doing quite as hot in the public eye. The New Yorker just called their CEO a borderline sociopath. A state AG just opened an investigation into them. In the memo, OpenAI's big argument is really we'll have more electricity than them, which is kind of like if a team is losing a game and you just say, well, we have a better stadium, it's bigger. OpenAI told investors that it plans to have 30 gigawatts of compute by 2030 and estimated that Anthropic will have 7 to 8. They're basically saying when it comes to compute, size matters. They called Anthropic compute constrained and operating on a meaningfully smaller curve. In this context, let's talk about what compute constrained actually means. Anthropic is compute constrained in the way that a restaurant with a line out the door is table constrained. The constraint is that more customers keep showing up than they can serve. Anthropic was running $9 billion in revenue in December, $14 billion in February, and now in April, $30 billion. Anthropic did that with a quarter of the infrastructure OpenAI says it needs. OpenAI is building a dining room that is 4 times the size. At this point, it's filling fewer seats. The key phrase in OpenAI's memo was the words compounding advantage. They argued that more infrastructure leads to better models, lower costs, more revenue, and that the whole thing compounds. The problem is that Anthropic just showed the world what compounding advantage actually looks like, and in terms of revenue and not just copy in a memo. OpenAI also bragged about democratizing AI by making tools available to hundreds of millions of people for free. 900 million weekly ChatGPT users, most of them are using it for free. Meanwhile, Anthropic has 1,000 companies that are each spending over $1 million per year. In this context, free users become a cost centers and paying customers are a business, which is what investors care about. OpenAI is projecting $14 billion in losses this year. Anthropic is projecting positive free cash flow by 2027. So democratizing AI is a beautiful mission statement, but OpenAI has never been too good at honoring their mission statements. Both companies are racing towards IPOs this year. OpenAI at a potential $1 trillion, Anthropic at $380 billion. Investors are inevitably going to compare the two, and they already are. The memo that was supposed to make the case for OpenAI accidentally made the case for Anthropic. If you really look at it, their company is generating more revenue, burning less cash, the fraction of the infrastructure. And meanwhile, OpenAI is pitching that it'll just have more electricity by 2030. You can't just keep saying we'll have more and bigger, especially not when it's 4 years from now when Anthropic is tripling on a 4-month time horizon. Sending investors a memo about how much electricity you'll control while your competitor triples revenue, and your CEO is being compared to Sam Bankman-Fried by a senior Microsoft executive in a high-profile feature, that shows us that maybe it's OpenAI that's spinning out.